This is Joshua Hart here for Seconds Out. Delighted today to be joined by British, Commonwealth, and European flyweight champion Jay Harris. Jay, first of all, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. It's good to see you. And how is everything?
Yeah, everything's good, mate. Yeah, just as I said earlier, it just caught me at a bad time. That's all. I've been knacking off the bloody wall in the house. But other than that, everything's going great. Ticking over nicely. To be fair, it's been great.
Good to hear. It's very good to hear. We dive straight into things because it's a bit of a interesting period, I guess we could say, for yourself. You hold that British and European flyweight titles, but you seem to be struggling to get a fight. A very similar situation to Gavin Gwynn. I spoke to him a few weeks ago, and he was in a similar situation. Couldn't seem to get a fight. Um, for what you know, do you know any reason as to why fights aren't materializing for yourself?
Um, I have no idea why. As you said, I hold the British and European titles, so you think people would be chomping at it, to be honest. But no one's called me out, nothing. Obviously, Connor Castle he won the Commonwealth that I vacated, and I think they got made mandatory to fight, and nothing's been heard of ever since. No date, nothing. So I've just taken over, been sparring and stuff like that. I sparred Paul Roberts last week. I'm sparring him tomorrow. Now he's fighting for the light flyweight Commonwealth title. Sparring Josh John then before what happened to him. Um, so I've been taking over nicely. I'm not far away, but as you said, there's nothing about it. I don't know what people are waiting for. I don't know whether the Saudis are taking over. People are waiting for a big massive payday off them. Because at the minute it seems to me not much going on.
How frustrating is this period, especially looking at your last fight? It was a very, very good performance from yourself last time out.
Thank you.
How frustrating is this period now of you coming off a great win like that, you capture three major titles in one night, and leaving that arena that night in Liverpool, I'm sure you're probably thinking there's going to be some big opportunities now around the corner. How frustrating has this been leaving that arena that night and nothing coming of it since?
Well, that's exactly what I thought. I thought you win the British Commonwealth and European title again. Um, you're back into contention for a big fight, and that seems not to be the case. It seems like there's nothing out there at the minute, or people are pricing themselves out of fights, and it's just a mad situation at the minute. I just thought obviously when I fought Frank tonight for the British title, straight away as soon as I won that, I think it was the following week, I got offered to fight that Galal Yafai, and I turned it down. Or reason being, I was in a camp for ages. Literally, I was in for like 12, longer than 12, 3 months, maybe more. Wait, I did three full camps. I did 2 8 weeks and a 6 weeks, because they got cancelled and stuff. And I just said no because I want to spend time with my family and stuff because I haven't seen them properly for. And then obviously the European title fight came up with Connor Butler, took that, won that, and then still nothing.
You mentioned turning down the Galal Yafai fight. There's obviously they're always looking for your big opportunities, but I think one thing that you've shown there is that you need to find that balance of being the athlete, being the professional boxer, being the champion. But as the champion, you weren't going to let yourself just go take a fight because it's big on telly, it's going to be a headliner. You wanted to have that time with your family. Um, so I guess some people might see that and say, oh, doesn't seem like the best decision, but is that a decision that you'll never regret because you've
No,
been able
I
to
won't.
go and spend time with your family and make memories?
No, I won't. I won't regret it. Not only because I did three. Normally, when people do full camps, like especially when they have a 12 round fight, they normally have a little break after it and then go back. But in this case, it was like fight Frank. Following week, it was like fight. Do you want to fight Galal fight in another 6 8 7 weeks time? So I was just like, I literally just come off a camp. I don't want to go back into another one. So, and I wanted to spend, I haven't been on holidays with my family. I didn't do anything. So I just thought, screw that. I'm going to spend some time with my family, take them on holidays, which I did, and then come back and then see what happens. And then the Conor Butler fight come up. But obviously now I thought like I'd have the Conor Butler fight maybe. And maybe he would have challenged me in for the Commonwealth, British, and European title, another big, massive fight. But he went down a different route, and obviously he's got the Sonny Edwards fight now, which is for the WBC interim, which I think is shit. I
Do
think I
you,
should have got a chance of maybe getting up there, maybe, but it is what it is, isn't it?
so do you feel that the fight with Galal should have been revisited and they should have possibly given you another opportunity to say yes, that given the circumstances of when they offered you the first fight?
Well, yeah, because I think obviously he fought some decent people. Not the last person he fought anyway. That was not good. But he's got like six fights. Or how many fights he had? Eight, six to seven, eight maybe.
I think at the weekend when he boxed in the 8th round, I think that was his ninth professional fight now.
Ninth, and then he's straight in to fight probably one of the best in the division at WBC. And yeah, everything else got overlooked. Then like he obviously skipped past the British level and skipped past European level and straight to world honors. Like, and yeah.
How damaging could it be for Galal? Obviously, he's took this fight with Sonny now. Sonny Edwards feels that Galal kind of had no other choice. It was either fight Sonny or you won't have a matchroom deal anymore. That's what Sonny said to me in an interview. Um, how damaging could it be for him if he is to be defeated by Sonny? Do you feel that knocks him down, not just obviously in the world ranking wise and career wise, but would that potentially not necessarily fully close the door, but limit his options in possibly taking a fight with you?
So what I think if he does lose, obviously he'll go take a step back again, and then they'll probably if we say have a fight now in December or later on in the year, I come through that, and I probably if Galal doesn't go through, I guarantee they probably end up asking me to fight Galal for to get him back in there. Probably that's what I reckon anyway.
And then
Round
just
about then.
just looking at yourself again, what do you want next? Do you want to defend these titles that you've won, or do you just want any opportunity that's going to get you back in the ring?
No, I wouldn't say any opportunity. I want a big opportunity. I'd like a big fight somewhere nice. Um, just to get maybe into like one fight away from another world title shot, and then fight for a world title, and then see where that takes me in. Um, that's what I want anyway. I thought maybe being the British Commonwealth European title champion again, I get another shot at a world title, but that's not the case. So I have to see what my options are now. Go from there, and then hopefully challenge for a world title. Maybe not next this fight, but maybe the next fight after.
Have you had any fights put to you since then, or has there literally been nothing at all?
There was a thing about Jackson Chalk, the South African to beat Casey Kandami, is it?
Yes, yes.
We said yeah about that. But then the same thing happened. Then he priced himself out of a fight, and then he didn't want to take it. So I went to in limbo again, and so I don't know what's going on.
And then just looking at Sonny versus Galal, how close of an eye are you going to be keeping on that fight when it rolls about?
Oh yeah, I'll be watching 100%. Definitely be watching. Well, it's good for our division to be honest. It's the best. It's as they said, it's one of the best fights out there. Good British domestic dust up, and yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that one. It's a good one.
How crucial is it to have these big nights in the flyweight division because the smaller divisions don't get as much attention and as much coverage as we see the heavyweights, the cruiserweights, and the bigger guys. How important is it to have, I guess you could say, guys like Sonny and Galal? Obviously, Galal, he's got that Olympic gold medal. He comes from a fighting family, and then Sonny, him and his brother Charlie, they're both big talkers and they know how to sell a fight. How important is it to have these big matchups?
Yeah, it's great. As you said, but that Sonny can talk, and Galal's the Olympic champion, so it makes for big domestic dust up. But we need people like that to showcase the flyweight division. As you said, it gets overlooked massively. We don't get paid nowhere near enough. I bet Sonny and Galal probably do, but the rest of us don't get paid that much. And nowhere near as like say even two weights above us, bantamweight gets a lot more money, which is crazy. And I believe like some of the flyweights are the most exciting fights you can see. It's all fast paced, all good technical fighting. It's proper fighting, proper boxing, and yeah, we just get overlooked massively.
And how do you see Sonny versus Galal playing out?
Um, I think Sonny wins on points, but boxes, really good boxing fight. Well, he said on the interview I seen last that Galal drags him into a bit of a fight, so it'd be good to see her. But he got dragged into a fight with Bam, and it was great. It was a great fight.
How much, obviously, you've had a world title shot yourself. How much can you take away from having that big fight? Obviously, not just in the ring, but out the ring, dealing with that big occasion. Sonny's now had that as well, headlining in the States. For yourself, what did you take away from that night?
Um, Took a lot of experience away from it. What's it? How good I actually am, really. I tested myself properly on that fight because it pretty much didn't go in with anybody world level, that especially not Martinez. Um, and then got fought Paddy Barnes, and then pretty much fought at the time was to be said the most dangerous flyweight in the division, and held my own, and give a good account of myself. And so, yeah, I took that from me, and I believe I belong on that level. Definitely, like, I believe that I should be challenging up and then world title contentions.
Would you potentially look at trying to target not necessarily the winner of Sonny versus Galal because they'll get made mandatory, but let's say it's a really close fight and it's one of those fights, the scorecards get read out, people are debating all over social media who they think won. If it's one of those types of fights, how badly would you like to necessarily look at taking the loser of that fight?
So if something like that does happen, it'll probably be 9 out of 10 times that it'll end up in a rematch, and they'll have more money again. But yeah, but if that case and they don't have a rematch, I'd be more than happy to jump in with any of them.
And then just looking away from the flyweights, we saw obviously a big Riyadh season card in the UK. Um, you mentioned earlier in the interview, obviously the lack of opportunity, saying that could potentially be Riyadh season. We've not seen, obviously, I know there's history being made in a few weeks with the first women's fight, but we've not seen any of the smaller weights necessarily. We've not seen any of the bantam or flyweight action on a Riyadh season card. Do you feel that's something that needs to be done and looking and investing in these guys?
I think it needs to be looked at definitely. Until you said when I thought back, and hasn't been a flyweight on there, no bantamweights. It's crazy, and yeah, there's some great fights out there for bantamweights, flyweights, super flyweights out there. So I don't understand why there has not been any fights like us on them.
What
I
did you
don't
make?
get it, and it's probably cheaper as well.
Hmm, what did you make of Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois?
I called at the start of the week. I did.
Did you?
Um, yeah. Well, when I was working, I was telling some of the boys that we work with that I reckon I got a funny feeling Dubois was going to do it. Um, and they were asking like reasons why, and I was like, just look at the last three fights of either of them. Um, Dubois is like Usyk, Baby Miller, Hrgovic, and then you got Andy Joshua's got like Arthur Wallin, is it? Some other
Mm.
fella, Ngannou. Um, and to be fair to Daniel Dubois in the Hrgovic fight, that he was brilliant. And I thought if he does this, comes out like that against Joshua, Joshua's going to be in a bloody massive surprise, and that's exactly what he did. Come out, all guns blazing. Um, yeah, it was amazing to watch. It was a great bloody heavyweight fight, let me tell you.
Did you expect Dubois to be as dominant as what he was?
Not as dominant, definitely not as dominant. I knew it was going to be big shots going in, but I didn't think it was going to be as dominant as he was, because the in that round that he actually knocked him out, he was hurt himself, and then Anthony Joshua threw a wild uppercut, which you're not meant to do out of distance and with your hands down, and he got hit a bloody massive right hand.
If a rematch is to get made between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois, do you see it going any differently?
Um, it would be a different fight for sure. To be fair, right, I thought if Anthony Joshua could ride out over 6 rounds, maybe seven, I thought he would have got to him and knocked him out. Because he was getting there then. Do you know he was finding
Mm.
his distance a little bit, but it's heavyweight in it, so anything can happen. You can just But yeah, I think the fight would be a lot different in the next one if it does happen. I've seen that they are chucking the rematch close out, so yeah, it'll be another good build up to it as well, probably.
If it's not the rematch next for Anthony Joshua, who do you feel? Well, not even who. What do you feel he should do next? Because there's been a lot of talk of retirement around his name since that night.
Huh? Dubois.
No, AJ.
Oh,
Not
AJ.
Dubois. I'd be a bit concerned if anyone was telling Dubois
I
to retire
know.
after that night.
Yeah, AJ. No, I don't think he should retire because there's still loads of big fights there. You've got the Zhang, you've got the Parkers, you've got Deontay Wilder, even Tyson Fury if he comes up against Usyk. If he loses against Usyk, the fight with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua still will be one of the biggest British fights in ever, heavyweight fights ever, I think.
Um, Just one thing on looking at AJ's team. One thing that's caused a bit of uproar on social media was I think it's at the end of the fourth round. AJ sits down and Ben Davison starts telling him to roll the dice. Even though, as you said, it looks like AJ was recovering. What do you make of those tactics from Ben Davison?
I don't think it's a good tactic. Um, have you seen the little um side view of Shane McGuigan?
Yes, yes.
Spot on. That is what he should have been told.
Hmm.
Not roll the dice, you're a warrior. I'm like, oh God, that's bad advice. Just keep your left hand up and don't throw any stupid. And then if he pans over to the next corner and he was looking at Dubois and they were saying you can't get away from your jab, feint, double jab, crossover. It's the right. It was the right advice, wasn't it? And yeah, it was two different advice, and I think it wasn't the best advice from Davison. It
And then
wasn't.
and then looking at Daniel Dubois finally, what do you want, or what fight would you like to see him in next? Because there's some big fights out there to be made.
There's two, and I think they both deserve it. It's either Parker or Zhang.
Really?
No one says anything about Zhang. It's mad.
Do you reckon people don't talk about Zhang because obviously at the moment, before the fight with Parker, he was being raved about a lot, but obviously defeated by Parker. Do you feel that might have derailed him a little bit and people
Yeah,
haven't thought about as much?
but if anything, yeah, you may be right, but it's either Parker should get the shot 100% next, but that would be a different fight again and against Dubois because Parker can box. He can go,
You
he can move
favour?
well.
Who would
That's
you
a
favour?
dodgy one. That is mine. That is hard. Um, I I don't know. I'd say Dubois because he's British and stuff, but Parker boxes. You could give him a little boxing lesson maybe because he's quite good. Parker is. He is good. He's very good, and he's improved again. To be fair.
Well, Jay, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate you hopping on today. Hopefully this interview gets out there, people seeing, then hopefully a big fight comes your way and you get yourself back in the ring defending those
Yeah,
titles.
nice one, mate. I hope so as well.
Cheers, Jay. Thank you very much.